There is a moment in life when everything changes. You might not notice it as it happens. It is not marked by fireworks or loud announcements. It is quiet. It is subtle. Yet it is powerful enough to shift the entire course of your existence. Carl Jung believed that the soul carries its own timeline, a secret calendar that is not bound by clocks or years. And when it decides you are ready for true love, everything you thought you knew about connection, attraction, and destiny begins to transform. This moment does not always come when you expect it. Sometimes it arrives after heartbreak has made you close your heart for years. Sometimes it comes in the middle of a season when you thought love was the last thing you wanted. And sometimes it shows up when you believe you are too old, too busy, or too guarded to let anyone in. But the soul is not interested in your excuses. It has been quietly watching, waiting, and preparing you for the day it will open the door. You might think you have been in love before. You might even be convinced you have already experienced it fully. But what the soul knows, and what you will discover, is that love before this moment was only a rehearsal. It was necessary, yes, but it was not the truth. The truth of love is something deeper. It is the point where your wounds no longer run the show, where your fears are not steering the wheel, and where you stop seeking someone to fill the empty spaces you refuse to face. When this moment arrives, it will feel like recognition. Not the kind of recognition where you think, I know you from somewhere, but the kind where every cell in your body whispers, you are the reason I learned to survive my loneliness. You are the reason my heart still beats with hope. It is not about meeting someone perfect. It is about meeting someone who mirrors the work you have done in yourself. Jung often spoke of individuation, the process of becoming whole. True love, the kind your soul waits for, is not about finding your missing half. It is about meeting someone once you have become whole enough to share without losing yourself. It is the love that comes after you have learned to sit with your own silence, to forgive yourself for the times you've settled, and to understand that you are not desperate for someone to complete you. Before this turning point, your relationships might have been built on patterns you did not see. Maybe you were drawn to those who needed saving, because saving them felt like saving yourself. Maybe you chose people who mirrored your own chaos, because chaos was familiar. Or maybe you avoided love altogether, because you thought avoiding pain meant avoiding loss. But the soul is patient. It allows you to live through all these versions of yourself until you are ready to experience the real thing. And here is the truth. When the soul decides you are ready for love, it is not just about romance. It is about every connection in your life. You start attracting friends who lift you higher instead of draining you. Opportunities come that align with your values, not just your ambitions. You start feeling an ease in your body when you speak your truth, instead of the knot in your stomach that used to appear whenever you feared rejection. The person you meet after this shift will feel like a choice, not a necessity. You will want them, but you will not need them to feel whole. This is the love that is not born out of longing, but out of abundance. And that is why it feels so different. It does not come with the anxiety of wondering if they will stay. It comes with the peace of knowing that even if they left, you would still be you. Asterisk, when the soul opens this door, there is no rush. The connection grows at its own pace. It is not desperate to prove itself because it knows what it is. There are no games to test loyalty, no need to pretend you are someone you are not, and no constant fear that the other person will disappear. Instead, there is a grounded certainty. You know that this love is not built on conditions, but on truth. This truth is not always comfortable. It will show you the parts of yourself you have avoided. It will invite you to be vulnerable in ways you never were before. It will make you put down the armor you thought you needed to survive. And that is the point. The soul will not bring this love to you until you are strong enough to live without that armor, until you realize that strength is not about walls, but about allowing someone to see you without them. Jung believed that the relationships we attract reflect the parts of ourselves we are ready to integrate. This is why the timing of love matters. If it comes too early, before you have faced your own shadows, it can feel overwhelming or even destructive. But when it comes at the right time, it feels like the missing puzzle piece sliding effortlessly into place. The edges fit because both of you have shaped yourselves into who you were always meant to be. This shift is not just emotional, it is energetic. You will notice that your presence changes. People will respond to you differently. You will find that the same patterns that once trapped you in heartbreak no longer have power over you. That ex who used to leave you in tears could return tomorrow, saying all the words you once ached to hear, and you would feel nothing, not because you are cold, but because you are free. Freedom is the real gift of the soul's timing. Freedom from the compulsions that once made you choose pain disguised as passion. Freedom from the belief that love has to hurt to be real. Freedom from the chase, the proving, the performing. In its place is a quiet, unshakable knowing. I am worthy of a love that honors me. When you reach this point, love is no longer a desperate search. It is a natural meeting. You will not need to force it, convince it, or hold it together by sheer will. The person meant for you will meet you where you are, because they have walked their own path to be ready for you. You might ask yourself, how will I know if I have reached this moment? The signs are subtle but unmistakable. You will feel more at peace in your own company than in chasing someone else's attention. You will stop needing closure from the people who hurt you, because you have given it to yourself. You will start saying no without guilt, and yes without fear. And when someone new enters your life, you will not question whether you are enough for them. You will ask whether they are enough for you. It is important to understand that this timing is deeply personal. For some it might arrive at 20. For others, it might not come until 60. The number does not matter. What matters is the readiness. Your soul will not rush this process, no matter how much you wish it would. It knows that love without readiness is just another lesson, and it wants to give you the gift without the pain that usually comes before it. When the soul finally says, now, you will feel it in every part of you. Conversations will flow like they have always been waiting to happen. Touch will feel like recognition, and silence will be comfortable, not awkward. You will realize that you are no longer afraid to lose this person, because their presence is a choice, not a lifeline. This is why Jung often spoke about the alignment between the conscious and the unconscious. When your inner world and your outer actions match, love becomes a reflection of that harmony. You no longer seek someone to heal you, because you are already healing. You no longer fear someone leaving, because you know your worth is not tied to their staying. And you no longer chase illusions, because you have learned to recognize the reality beneath them. When the soul decides you are ready for true love, it is because you have learned one of the hardest lessons of all, how to be with yourself without needing to escape. And from that place, the love that arrives is not here to complete you, it is here to grow with you. Before we go deeper, if you've ever felt that a single moment in your life revealed a truth you could no longer ignore, the Jung method can help you understand why. It's a powerful tool to uncover the patterns shaping your choices and how to live in alignment with who you truly are. The link is pinned in the first comment. When you reach the place where the noise around you fades, something shifts deep inside. It is not about age in numbers, but about the quiet decision your soul makes. The decision to stop chasing the kind of love that leaves you anxious, and to start allowing only what feels safe, whole, and alive. You sense it in the way your chest softens when you think about the future. You notice it in the way you no longer feel drawn to battles disguised as relationships. This is not giving up, it is arriving. You begin to understand that love is not meant to exhaust you. It is not meant to keep you on the edge, wondering if you are enough. Love, in its truest form, should not ask you to fight for your worth. The moment you realize this, you step into a new field, one where you can see yourself clearly, without bending your shape to fit into someone else's vision. It happens quietly, often without announcement. One morning, you wake up and notice that you are not checking your phone with that same desperate rush. The messages that once determined your mood now hold less weight. Your peace has become more precious than the thrill of uncertainty. This is the moment your soul begins to prepare you for real love, the kind that meets you exactly where you are. Without asking you to shrink, you start to release the patterns that once defined your connections. The need to prove, to convince, to hold on at all costs begins to dissolve. You have seen what happens when love is built on longing rather than presence, and you are no longer willing to repeat that cycle. This readiness is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, like a slow, deep breath. Real love enters not when you are perfect, but when you are rooted in yourself. It arrives when you stop chasing and start receiving. You no longer crave the constant validation that once pulled you into endless loops. Instead, you feel a pull toward honesty, both with yourself and with others. You understand that protecting your inner world is not selfish, it is sacred, and in this clarity, you begin to see who truly belongs in your life. The ones who see your light without trying to dim it, the ones who show up without conditions, the ones who can hold both your softness and your strength without fear. You realize that love is not a rescue, not a transaction, but a mutual recognition of truth. Asterisk, you find yourself drawn to people who make you feel calm instead of restless. There is a softness in the way they speak, a steadiness in the way they stand beside you. They do not need to perform to keep your attention, and you no longer feel the need to perform to keep theirs. This is one of the clearest signs that your soul has shifted. You are no longer intoxicated by the drama of inconsistent love. You crave the quiet steadiness that allows you to breathe fully. Your past relationships, even the painful ones, begin to look different through this lens. You can see now that they were not failures, but teachers. Each heartbreak stripped away another layer of illusion, making it impossible for you to keep accepting less than you deserve. And while part of you wishes you had understood sooner, another part knows the timing was perfect. You needed every experience to become the person who can now recognize and receive what is real. It is here that you begin to notice how much your own energy shapes what you attract. When you were desperate, you drew in those who fed on that hunger. When you were unsure, you drew in those who confirmed your uncertainty. But now, something in you stands taller. Your boundaries are not walls to keep love out, but gates that protect what is sacred. And because you are finally living in alignment with your own truth, the love you invite in will reflect that truth back to you. There is a deep peace in knowing that you no longer have to chase. Real love will not run from you. It will not punish you for being yourself. It will not demand that you become smaller so it can feel bigger. Instead, it will meet you at your full height, ready to grow alongside you. And when it does, you will feel it not as a spark that burns out, but as a steady flame that warms everything it touches. This shift changes everything, not just in romance, but in every connection you have. You start to notice the people who drain you and the people who fill you. You become less tolerant of conversations that go nowhere, of relationships that run on empty promises. Your time and your energy feel more valuable, and you give them more carefully. This is not cynicism, it is self-respect. Sometimes, this readiness will mean walking away from someone you thought was meant for you. It might hurt, but you understand. Now that holding on to the wrong person only keeps you from the right one, you stop trying to turn mismatches into destiny. You trust that what is meant for you will not require constant sacrifice of your peace. This is when you begin to see love as something you participate in, not something you beg for. You become an equal in your own story. And because of this, the love that comes next will feel different. It will not be about filling a void, but about sharing fullness. It will not be about fixing each other, but about growing together. The beauty of this stage is that you do not need to force anything. You are no longer afraid of being alone because you understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness feels like something is missing. Solitude feels like everything you need is already here. And from that place, love becomes a choice, not a necessity. When you finally meet someone from this place, you recognize them instantly, not because they match some fantasy, but because their presence feels like home. You will not need constant reassurance. You will not wonder where you stand. You will simply know, and in that knowing, you will feel safe enough to give fully, without fear of losing yourself.